Question 4. The diagram shows a solid formed from a cone, cylinder, and a hemisphere. The cone has a base radius of 3x and a height of y. The cylinder has radius 3x and height 2x. The hemisphere radius is 3x. The volume of the cone is twice the volume of the hemisphere, so that y is equal to 12x. So very clearly, find the volume of the cone, find the volume of the hemisphere, and show that it's twice. That's all. So first things first, find the volume of cone. If you don't remember formula for volume of cone, thankfully it's given in your formula sheet. 1/3 pi r square h. Okay, so what is my r? My r is 3x, h is y. So 1/3 pi r square h. Simplify this. The 3 and the 3 will just cancel out. So you square become 9, so you get 3 pi x square y. Okay, please remember, when you square, this will go here and this will go here. Don't make mistakes like you square the x and you forget to square the 3. Next, then find the volume of hemisphere. Again, volume of hemisphere is technically given in the formula sheet. It gives you volume of a sphere. Hemisphere is obviously half of the sphere. Okay, so half of 4/3 pi r cubed. What is your r here? Your r is 3x. Okay, so if you expand this, 3 to the power of 3 is 27. So you will get something like 27 times half times 4/3, which will give you 18. So you will get 18 pi x cubed. Since volume of cone is twice of volume of hemisphere, three pi x square y is equal to 2 times 18 pi x cubed. So you have pi on both sides. Cancel, cancel. You have x squared here, cancel. Okay? In fact, your 3 can also cancel with the 18. Therefore, y is equal to what is left? 2x bracket shown. Right, instead of cancelling, 12x, thank you. Instead of cancelling, you can also go and divide. So some of you cannot see it directly like this. So if you cannot see it directly like that, you tell me y is equal to 2 times 18 is 36, right? So you will get 3 pi x squared over 36 pi x cubed. If you present it this way, then you can see the cancellation. So x squared will cancel with x cubed, pi will cancel with pi, 3, 1. I divided the other way around, so smart. Amazing. Okay, then you will simplify down to 12x. Okay. So you cannot see the direct cancellation, it's okay. You express it as a fraction and then you cancel. I think so far all the questions are fairly standard and fairly easy. Okay. So let's move on to part B. They now tell you that the total surface area of the solid is 300 cm squared. Calculate the total height of the solid. So what exactly is the total height? The total height means from here to here. Oops. Total height, as the diagram shows, from here to here. So if I were to draw it out using the diagram, it's from here to here, right? What makes up the different parts? You will realize that y is the same as 12x proven in part A. You will see that this height over here is given 2x. And then, of course, the last height here is 3x because it's a hemisphere. So that part is the radius. And the radius is 3x. Okay? So in total, your combined height is actually 12 plus 2 plus 3, which will give you 15x. Plus 12x plus 2x plus 3x is 17x. Obviously, you need to go and find x. That's all you need to find first. So let's think about how to find x. They give you the total surface area. So the second thing to imagine is what makes up the total surface area. So this one you have to visualize. Number one, you have the curved surface area of the cone. Okay? And because they are stacked like that, you don't count the circle at the base. The circle at the base is not counted. So number two, you have the curved surface area of your cylinder. If you don't remember what the curved surface area of a cylinder is, you better go and revise your mensuration. Area, volume, perimeter of different shapes, and surface area of different shapes. Okay, the curved surface area of any cylinder is always pi times diameter, which gives me the circumference of the circle, then multiplied by the height of the cylinder. Okay? The third part that makes up the surface area is the curved surface area of a hemisphere. Okay, so you notice that because of how they are stacked together, the circular base is not counted at all. So there are only 3 distinct parts that make up the total surface areas. Don't need to count the circular bases at all. Okay, of these 3 formula, curved surface area of a cone is given. And technically you're not given the hemisphere, but you should know because they give you the surface area of a sphere. So you just divide by 2. So the cylinder one is the one that is not given. So the other thing you must recognize is that since I need to find the curved surface area of a cone, if you go and look at the formula sheet, it says pi r L. So what is pi r L? L refers to the slant height. So we call this L. The L always refers to the slant height. That's what the pi r L means. So you need to find the slant height. And from here, you should recognize that to find the slant height, you need Pythagoras theorem. Okay, this one should be quite familiar to you from Sec 2. So actually, this is a Sec 2 mensuration question. Mensuration referring to things that measure units of measurement like volume, area, perimeter, surface area, and all that is all classified as mensuration. Okay, so this is actually our Sec 2 mensuration. Now to find L, Pythagoras theorem. Okay, so first thing that you need to be able to find. So surface area, or rather, slant height first. So the slant height of your cone is equal to square root of we have 3x squared and we have 12x squared. Okay. So you multiply this out, this will give you square root of 9x squared plus 144x squared, which will give you this one a little bit interesting because the number here is not very nice. If I square root 144 plus 9, it doesn't give me a very nice number. It gives me 12 point something. Okay, so what you should do is just leave it in terms of a square root. So square root 153. Okay. Now, if you take A math, then obviously you will know how to simplify this. So you can go ahead and simplify it. But if you don't take A math, then you just need the answer as this. So while you don't learn certs in E math, very interesting question that appears in your O-level paper here. All right, so this is your slant height. And therefore, we can now find your curved surface area of cone, which will give me pi times radius, which is 3x, times square root 153 x squared. If you simplify this, when you simplify the x squared will become x. So you will just get 3x squared, or rather 3 pi x squared, square root 153. Okay, this would normally not be the way you would present a cert, but this is what you would likely be left with if you are taking this as an E-math student and you don't know how to simplify the cert. So you just leave it in this, it is fine. Now you know why this question is 6 marks. Many steps. Okay. Once you have the curved surface area of the cone, you can next find your curved surface area of the cylinder. That one quite straightforward. So curved surface area of the cylinder is equal to pi times 2 times radius, which is 3x, times your height, which is given as 2x in the question. Okay, I repeat, the height of the cylinder is 2x as given in the question. All right. And then your radius is 3x. So curved surface area, 2 pi r. So 2 times pi times 3x times height, which is 2x. That will give you your curved surface area. And so simplify this, 2 times 3 times 2, give you 12 pi x squared. Okay, then you have your curved surface area of hemisphere. In the formula sheet, it gives you an entire sphere. Okay, the entire sphere is 4 pi r square. So here it is half times 4 pi r square. The half and the 4 will cancel out to become 2. So you will get 18 pi x squared. And so you now have your total surface area of the solid equals to 300, which means that 3 pi x squared times square root 153 plus 12 pi x squared plus 18 pi x squared is equal to 300. That is what you should have. So everything got pi x squared, so you can just straight away combine. So 3 plus 12 plus 18 will simplify down to 33. So you will get 33 pi plus square root 153 x squared is equal to 300. Okay? So factorize out the x squared. This is what you should be left with when you combine 3 pi plus 12 pi plus 18 pi is 33 pi. Then you have an extra square root. Should not write it like that, because this is a constant. So you should get 30 pi plus 3 pi square root 153 x squared. Should write it this way instead. Now, at the end of the day, if you find it very challenging to write it in terms of the square root because it's not something that you're comfortable or familiar with because you don't take A math, what do? At the very beginning, the square root, right? This square root over here, you express in 5SF. So when answers are not exact, just leave it in 5SF. So you could use the 5SF value in your working step. So that will prevent you from getting mixed up in this part. So this part is quite easy to mix up if you leave it in surds. So the correct expression here should be like that: 30 pi plus 3 pi square root 153. Just now I put 33 pi, which is not correct because this and this cannot combine because got this. So it's a bit complicated. Okay. So if it's confusing for you, you can just leave in 5SF value without using the surd, without using the square root. Okay, that will be a lot easier. But either way, you will know that x squared from here is equal to 300 divided by 30 pi plus 3 pi square root 153. Just go and press your calculator here. And therefore, x equals to, we will normally put plus minus when we take square root, but in this case, you know very clearly that x cannot be negative. So it is perfectly acceptable to just take positive root. So here you will not be penalized for not putting plus minus. In fact, if you put minus, you must reject. So that one quite important. It is fine to just put positive square root here because we know for a fact that x cannot be negative because it represents part of the length. Okay? So go ahead and find the value of x using your calculator. So square root 300 out of 30 pi plus 3 pi times square root 153 to see how complicated it looks. Okay, but you should get x equals 1.1929 in 5SF. And therefore, height is equal to, just now we already established it, 12x plus 2x plus 3x. Which is 17 times x, which will give you just leave it in 3SF because you don't need the value. Okay. So like I said, you don't have to leave it in terms of the square root. If you're not comfortable, you can just leave it as a 5SF value. Can? Okay. So you have an entire question on mensuration in 9 marks.